Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with Technical Solutions. I wanted to update you guys on my overall positions, what positions I have reduced, what positions I'm currently heavily or more aggressively invested in. But before we get started with today's video, I kind of wanted to make you guys laugh and ask what you guys thought about this meme. The guys and I here at the TechBuds team were kind of just talking about it. And let me know in the comment section, would you be someone that would buy a ticket for this potentially new Titanic if it were to actually happen? So let me know down in the comment section. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into my screen and update you guys on all my positions, the ones that I have closed, the ones that I have reduced, and the ones that I plan to buy a little bit more of because they've indicated signs of an uptrend. So I hope that you enjoyed these videos, and if you do, please drop a thumbs up, and I hope you learned something new. Let's do it. So just like you guys asked in yesterday's video, I wanted to do both the front camera and also the screen recording to kind of give you guys the best of both worlds. So let's go ahead and talk about PTON. PTON right now in the open, I reduced my position size from, I believe I had 450 shares. It's been indicating signs of an uptrend, and I'm gonna explain to you exactly why. One of the things that I wanna share with you is just because I see value in something or I specifically do something should never mean that you should do the same. At the end of the day, you should be empowered to be your own person, and there's so many different ways on how to approach the market and still experience and achieve that same end result of making a profit. So don't be afraid to try new things, but don't ever think that there's only one way to do something. So I have 250 shares of Peloton. I'm up a little bit over $1,300 on the open, up a little bit over $800 on the day, and let's be honest, for the past week is really where a lot of the action has been happening. If you guys have watched my videos, or if you've been a subscriber at least for the past month, Peloton has been on my radar ever since its aggressive drop due to the earnings. It dropped below $100 and I was trading it around that price point. I began to hold a smaller position of about 150 to 200 shares overnight, and that was at an average purchase price, if I'm not mistaken, at around 108, and I would day trade with about 400 to about 500 shares throughout the day. So I've been doing very well with Peloton. I've really been enjoying it. Not every trade goes according to plan like we've seen, and I'm going to explain to you a couple that have not. So I've been more aggressively trading Peloton because it's been in my favor. But what I want to showcase to all of you is don't be afraid to lock in profits where we're at right now. Although I still plan, and I'm here to share both sides, although I'm still here to hold a portion of my position, let's be honest, Peloton has been aggressively pushing up. It's still bullish, but it does have pullback potential, and based off of previous highs, we're right at the same resistance level. Now at 180-day highs, there's the possibility that it can go to 140 and continue to make new highs, and that's what I'm holding for. It doesn't mean that you need to do the same. Especially if you're just getting started and you're learning how to trade, don't be afraid to keep some profit in your pocket and walk away or reduce your position size. And some of you guys asked me, what does that mean? That means, like, if you had 100 shares, maybe you sell 50 and allow the 50 to continue to run just in case it pulls back. It doesn't devastate you that much, or you don't give back as much of your profits. So you kind of get what I mean. So I wanted to update you guys on kind of where Peloton is. It's done absolutely amazing based off of what we anticipated for it. So if you go back to over a month ago, Peloton was one of my top stocks. I've been updating you guys. I've been trying to do the best every single day, both on Instagram and on YouTube, and it's up over 30%. So it's absolutely gone according to plan. Let me explain to you some that have not, and I want to share both sides with you. Actually, let's talk about Tesla real quick. Tesla right now on the 180-day chart is going through a lot of consolidation leading up to December 18th, which is the date that they have to be able to buy before its addition to the S&P 500, which is on December 21st. There's going to be a lot of volatility. This should not come as a surprise. We've experienced a resistance level right around $600, and it continues to consolidate. Please watch your position size, and one of the things that we talked about within our Learn Plan Profit live trading session today is it wouldn't really surprise me that right after its addition, it's just Tesla is like infamous for as soon as it surpasses certain milestones, it pulls back right after. When it did its 5-in-1 split, it aggressively sold off. When they talked about, if I'm not mistaken, when they openly shared that they plan to cash out $5 billion to be able to invest into their future, then again, Tesla pulled on back right away. So there is a lot of consolidation. There's a lot to look forward to on Tesla, but they also did just announce, and I'm not too sure if you guys are all aware of the news. I had a couple of you guys share this article with me, and I really do appreciate it. But first of all, a couple of weeks ago, there was a consumer report, which isn't anything too devastating, rated the Tesla Model S and the Tesla Model Y as one of the worst when it comes down to consumer reports, and only the Tesla Model 3, which is actually the one that I have, did rate pretty well. Other than that, the Tesla Model S and the Tesla Model X for the first time did not win the consumer reports. And they also just announced for the next 2 weeks, they will stop production on the Tesla Model X and the Tesla Model Y just because demand is not as high. And you just have to kind of think about it in their aspect. When it comes down to the Tesla Model X and the Tesla Model S, they're the higher end, more expensive Tesla. And when you have something like the Model 3 or the Model Y, those are the newer, more updated ones, and they're also less expensive, especially as Tesla is working towards developing a vehicle in the $25,000 range. You could only see why, obviously Tesla has this very, very type of futuristic feel to it, so you can see why maybe a lot of people might even just try to go for the $25,000 one and maybe not even get the Tesla Model Y, which is a little bit more expensive than the Model 3 if I'm not mistaken. But I wanted to update you guys on the good or bad news. I'm still holding on my Tesla position. I actually wanted to update you guys on kind of where I stand right now. It actually just pulled back and I reduced my position size a little bit, so I'm not doing the best on the day when it comes down to Tesla. I bought a couple more shares and I actually want to show you on the 1 day 1 minute chart. Yesterday I was actually able to end it on a green note. If you guys follow me on Instagram, yesterday I ended it at 1,500. The day before I ended it a little bit over $5,000. There was a lot of consolidation at 625. I reduced and loaded off some of my shares around there. I had about 210, 220 shares. I sold off a majority of my shares and now it just pulled back. So it has a lot of downside potential. It tested $600 support level today. So I would not be surprised if it breaks below that support level. I just have to make sure that I really watch my position size. And just like you guys know, what I'm doing is I'm only holding 50 shares overnight and I day trade with the rest. So if I have 220 shares by the end of day, regardless if I'm up or if I'm down, I will sell the remaining shares and only stay with 50 shares, which is something that I've been doing as Tesla has been very, very overbought. And I also, let's go ahead and see kind of where we stand right now. So on the day, I'm down $800. So it's not a horrible day, but it's definitely not the best. It's a red day, and red days are inevitable. They're bound to happen. So just make sure that you understand that. The other one that I also did want to update you guys on, the one that I'm very, very excited about, is BABA. BABA actually did very well. I sold off a couple of my shares as it became a little bit more on the overbought side. I'm up $1,000 on the day, which really doesn't matter. On the open, I'm still down 482, but what I'm excited about is not how it's performing today, because this isn't a day trade. And again, this is why I always talk about it's all about your intention. You want your position size to be something that's effective, in which that if you buy in early, you can tolerate some movement, right? Tolerate that risk and tolerate that fluctuation. But if you look at where Alibaba is, or BABA, you can see that it's at previous support levels. Patterns tend to repeat themselves. They don't always have to, but it has a lot of upside based off previous resistance levels, which should be right around the SMA line. So I'm excited about that. And if all I want to focus on right now is I want to see this. If you guys are going to be asking, Ricky, what are you waiting for before you buy more? This. I wanted to push up and I want it to pull back, but when it pulls back, I want to see higher lows. I just want to see indication of consistent growth. I don't need it to aggressively push up. I just want it to steadily move up, give me the confidence and the reassurance that it's beginning to indicate signs of an uptrend. When the direction is in my favor, it is much easier for me to be able to feel comfortable adding more to my position size. So I wanted to update you guys on this one. It looks like it's doing a little bit better, but only time will tell where it begins to lead. And this is why I have my series of alerts set up on both sides. Now, the other one that I want to update you guys on that has not been performing the best, right? I talked to you guys about the ones that have been performing pretty decent overall. GPS. Gap is one that we talked about, and this is when it was right around $20, $21 a share. It's still around that general area, but you're not missing out on GPS, or you're not missing out on Gap as of right now. Although I'm in it with a couple of shares right now, Gap is selling off. It's making lower lows. It's not indicating signs of an uptrend. So I've been reducing a little bit of my shares, but it's still something that I see potential in just because of how much upside it has to offer. All I would say is if you are someone that is watching GPS, I think that's great. I would set your alerts. I want to tell you this as someone that's invested in it right now. You're not missing out on anything. It's not indicating signs of an uptrend, and I would rather save you money and encouraging you to be patient rather than trying to buy the dip, especially if you're under the PTT rule, because I'm not, right? I can cut losses, I can buy back in at any time that I want, and it doesn't affect me. For someone that is watching that is under the PTT rule, that sees value in GPS, but is waiting or asking the question, when's the right time to buy? In my opinion, the best time to buy is when the direction is in your favor and when it's indicating signs of an uptrend. You have nothing but time. allow the opportunity to present itself to you. And I'm telling you this as someone that's currently invested, that I would personally hold off, especially if you're under the PDT rule. Add it to your watch list, set those alerts, and just keep it simple and follow up with it when it makes sense, because we all know that it doesn't just have to recover. It can easily continue to drop, and if I can save you entering a bad trade, then I will take that as my job and my responsibility to encourage you to hold back until direction is more clear. So I hope that you guys can appreciate that. And the last one that I want to talk about is BBY. BBY is looking good today. It has not been looking good before. So it's right around 103. Yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, it hit highs of like 104. It's up on the day, barely. You're not missing out on anything. This one is one that I would potentially watch a little bit closer. This is Best Buy. It's BBY. Based off of where we're at right now to previous highs, it does offer a pretty decent or attractive return, about 25%. A goal is something to work towards, not something that you have to hit every single day. There is a lot of talk about their closures when it comes down to the Mexico stores. As of right now, it's all about direction, and it's all about confirmation. I would like to see higher highs. I would like to see exactly what it did here, where it sold off, it sold off, it sold off. That's great. You don't need to take part of that. But it's when it began to find a support, which it looks like we're trying to do right now. But once it begins to indicate signs of an uptrend and make higher highs and higher lows, again, the stock market's not easy, but it's so much easier when the overall direction is in your favor. And if I can encourage you to keep it that much more simple and allow and wait for that opportunity to present itself, then I will take that as a very simple message that I hope that you receive throughout my videos. But that is really just it. We talked about Peloton, my SQs position I closed out, GPS, BBY, BABA. Yeah, so I wanted to update you guys on pretty much all of that. The last thing that I want to share with you guys, and this is just my opinion. So right now, you guys saw that I was down about $800 on the day. I've done so well with Tesla. You guys have seen it, that we've been absolutely killing it. I've had $4,000, $6,000, $5,000 days on Tesla. I've also taken a pretty significant loss on one of those days. It's been such a blessing to be able to take part of this. A lot of you guys were asking, Ricky, why aren't you trading TQs, SQs anymore? I personally think, and this is just my opinion, is right after its addition to the S&P 500, we might see a little rally, right? It might continue to uptrend for a little bit. It would not surprise me, just based off of how it's reacted when it's, they're cash out at $5 billion or their 5-in-1 split, that it pulls back. So because of that, I know I've been holding 50 shares. After its addition to the S&P 500, I plan to hold a little bit less. I still plan to be invested just in case it continues to uptrend, but I'll most likely reduce it to about 20 to 30 shares, somewhere around there, just because there's just a lot of signs of consolidation right now. It hasn't been added. I hope that I'm wrong. I know that long term, if you're a long-term investor, it makes sense that you're only focused in the future. So don't allow these day-to-day fluctuations really affect you. I'm someone that just focuses more on the intraday. And although I do see long-term growth on Tesla, I just have to respect these high levels and understand that pullbacks are healthy, and it's not the end of the world when they happen. So I just wanted to update you guys on that. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think. All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please make sure you drop a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, if you have any suggestions for future videos, that's essentially how I run my YouTube channel. So make sure you drop them down below, and I see almost every single comment. Don't forget to stay connected. That's that first link down below. We run the absolute largest free Facebook group for those who trade in the stock market, and it's absolutely for free. Again, first link down below. And a friendly reminder, I do trade live every single morning, and if you like the way that I break things down and you would like to work with me on a closer basis, you definitely don't have to, but the Learn Plan Profit group is the only group that gets to exclusively watch me trade live every single day, and that I work with on a closer basis. So if you want to learn a little bit more about the LPP group and to see if it's a good fit for you, all we ask you to do is click the second link down in the description, learn a little bit more about it, and see if it's a good fit for you. Until next time, continue working hard, continue following dreams, let your passion be what drives your success, and like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.